Rome had walls, Rome had soldiers, and still, its borders collapsed. Not because Rome was weak, but because its leaders mistook the flight of an entire population for a manageable border problem. This is lessons unlearned, the lessons history makes clear, and civilizations choose to forget. For centuries, Rome controlled movement across its borders, not with walls alone, but with systems, roads, forts, watchtowers, soldiers positioned to respond quickly. Rome never tried to stop movement entirely, it tried to control it. By the mid-4th century, events far beyond Rome's borders were forcing entire populations to move. A nomadic group known as the Huns began advancing westward from Central Asia. They attacked settled communities, destroyed villages, and displaced the people in their path. Groups ahead of them had little warning, and no effective way to resist. Many fled before the Huns arrived. One of the groups affected was the Goths. The Goths lived north of the Danube River, outside Roman territory, in what is now Eastern Europe. When the Huns entered the region, Gothic leaders understood their position was untenable. They lacked the manpower to fight and the time to organize a defense. Their remaining option was to seek permission to cross into Roman lands. The Danube River marked Rome's northern military boundary. Roman fords, supply depots, and road networks lined its southern bank. Any large group crossing the river required food distribution, supervision, and clear settlement plans. In the year 376, Roman authorities allowed the Goths to cross the Danube. The intent was to settle them as farmers and eventually recruit them into the army, but execution failed. Food shipments were delayed or stolen. Roman officers demanded bribes. Responsibility was unclear. The Goths were left concentrated, armed, and increasingly desperate. Unrest turned into open revolt. The Goths broke free of Roman supervision and began moving through the countryside in armed groups. Local Roman forces were unprepared and unable to contain them. What had begun as a resettlement problem became a military one. Over the next 2 years, Roman forces attempted to reassert control, but the response was slow, fragmented, and poorly coordinated. Gothic groups moved freely through Roman territory, gathering strength, recruiting allies, and avoiding decisive engagement. By the year 378, the Eastern Roman Emperor Valens chose to confront them directly. He did so without waiting for reinforcements from the Western Empire. To make matters worse, Roman intelligence underestimated the size and cohesion of the Gothic forces. Near the city of Adrianople, the Roman army engaged, expecting a manageable confrontation against the divided opponent. The battle was fought and lost in a single day. Emperor Valens was killed, along with a large portion of the Eastern Field Army. The defeat did not end the empire, but it marked a turning point. From that moment forward, Rome could no longer dictate terms to large, armed populations within its borders. Instead, the empire increasingly relied on negotiated settlements, autonomous federated groups, and compromises made under pressure. These arrangements kept the empire alive, but they weakened central control. Over time, authority fragmented, military power dispersed, and Rome's ability to respond decisively continued to erode. The fall of the Western Roman Empire would come decades later, but the conditions that made it possible were now in place. Not because Rome failed to defend its borders, but because it failed to manage a movement of people, it fundamentally misunderstood. History does not repeat itself exactly, but when lessons go unlearned, the results tend to rhyme. If you enjoyed this analysis, please support the channel with a like, comment, or subscription, so we can provide more content like this.